Hello, this is again Ratka, and the channel where I try to talk about projects as much as possible to help you to apply for funding. And the reason why I record this video today, even though as you can hear, I have a cold and I don't feel 100% me, is the fact that Jay was so kind and he asked me a question in comments. And this question related to ERC, whether I am going to cover any topics related to ERC. So the answer is yes and no. Many of the things I'm going to talk about, or I plan to talk about, will relate to ERC project proposals. So you can use them and apply them while you are going to write ERC projects. And why no? Well, there is also a huge amount of information that is really specific for European Research Council and their calls. And that would demand me to, well, really stay up to date with the field and, well, do a lot of research and meet a lot of people. And because this is something I don't plan to do at the moment, so it really makes no sense to promise you that I would. But there's always important but. So I checked what is online, and to tell the truth, the web pages of the European Research Council are quite rich, full of information. Actually, a week ago they had a webinar on new calls. Well, I guess it won't be that entertaining, but still, you can get a lot of information there. It will be certainly informative. So if you are really motivated and if you want to submit, I would definitely watch this webinar. Plus, and that's a bit more entertaining, they have a podcast. So I started to listen to a few episodes myself. And yeah, that was inspiration coming from it as well. Because the most important thing is, before you start to submit, you need to understand the environment of the European Research Council, actually any agency you want to apply with. And therefore, it is really important to understand them as much as possible, as I said. And how to understand them? Well, you can't talk to them, but they talk to you. So listen to them. That's the most important. So ERC, I'm going to share the links about the ERC web pages and about ERC webinar they had a week ago, because I think that might be very useful if you want to submit. So that's one thing I will share. Another thing I will share, and sorry, I start to sound a bit weird already. Anyway, so the other thing I want to share is the link to the podcast, because I think that one was interesting as well. So I certainly recommend this one, because they talked to a member of evaluation panel. So you will hear a story from behind the scenes, from a person who reads the project proposals, who decides or partially decides on what is going to be financed and what not, what is going to be selected and what not. So therefore, it's again important to listen to these people. So that's the first advice in relation to ERC. And the second thing is, well, if you want to get really good support, you need to have someone who specializes on this field. So who understands both the business of ERC as such and the projects they want to finance, but who also understand the art of project writing and communicating in projects. And I have one person myself who helped me a lot in becoming a better consultant and who always inspired me. And that is Lotte Jaspers from Dutch company Yellow Research. Of course, well, because she is an expert, so she's really busy. But there is an option how to get her advice, and that's when they organize the official webinars. So again, I will share the link below, and just you can, I think, sign in into their mailing list if you want to be informed, or here and there just check their web pages when they will open the registration for the webinars. Well, these webinars are of course paid, but to tell the truth, I always paid for her webinars, and it was the best invested money, honestly, which I ever, well, did. Well, that was not the best English, but anyway, it was the best invested money in my training where it came to knowledge about European research project writing. So Lotte Jaspers and her trainings. The point is, like I probably said or probably didn't, because this is the second time I record this video, so I don't remember with this partially, brain full of cold. So I can't remember what I said this time and what I didn't say this time. So anyway, Lotte has really long experience in the field. and she knows a lot of people. She talks to a lot of people, and therefore she has really up to date behind the scene information. So, well, to me, she is the best. It's up to you if you want to listen to this advice or not, or if you have any budget for that or not. And if I am informed well, she also does individual trainings, but I have never enrolled in this because I myself didn't apply for ERC. Certainly, I don't have any topic that would be acceptable for European Research Council. So I didn't use her services, but I know that she provides them. So this is something that you can get for free. Some really, really good advice you can get if you have money. And there is a third thing I wanted to tell you, and that third thing I have just now forgotten. So, what did I want to talk about? This is what happens when you record something and are not 100% okay. What I wanted to talk about. So it was this. Oh yeah, I know what I want to talk about. Anyway, my plans about the channel. So I started with the ERC that I am not planning to do anything specific for ERC. But if I come across some information that might be interesting for you, I will certainly share. I will start to share things in the description below because I was thinking about what kind of channel I could use as addition to the topics I'm going to talk about when I want to share things, because there will be a lot of things I want to share with you. And I still didn't open anything. I started with LinkedIn, but you know how it is. I just didn't want to. I couldn't be bothered at the moment. So, well, no LinkedIn at the moment. But there will be this description box below, and you can find information over there. So, what I wanted to tell you are two things. The question from Jay helped a lot. So, whenever you ask me something, it will help me to navigate my thinking about what I want to include and what I don't want to include. I have some visions. I have some visions about things I think might help you. But the point is that, well, I saw that you are coming from all kind of different backgrounds, from different countries. So the question is, what is your PhD environment? What is your environment to train you as a PhD, as a future researcher? So I will ask you in each video a question so that you can reply in comments and tell me a bit more about you and your needs so that I can see whether I can help with something or I can't, like with the ERC. Well, I'm certainly not an expert on ERC, and well, I certainly don't want to become one. That's the point. So anyway, in my next video, I thought I would explain what I want to do with this channel and what kind of information I would like to provide you with and why. So that's it for today. My lovely voice full of cold. I hope it wasn't that horrible. Just going to check what I did. Well, thank you so much for any comments. And my first question for today is, are you being trained in asking questions? Or how you decide which question is good? How you find out? So what's your strategy in relation to thinking about questions? Because questions are really fuel for our work. We need to ask ourselves proper questions in order to keep us moving, going further, and getting new ideas. So again, thank you very much, Jay. You made me occupied for a couple of days because I did a research, even though I said that I'm not going to invest any money. Well, you see my handkerchief. Because I thought that I don't want to invest any time. Well, I said money. Gosh. Anyway, yeah, so I invested some time after all. And as I said, a lot of things on ERC official web pages, sharing below. That's the first thing. Second thing, if you want to get perfect professional help, well, there is no one else I could suggest. I could recommend. Well, I could recommend you next time, don't record anything if you are not feeling well. So I can recommend you Lotte Jaspers. And yeah, again, link below. And the next time, when I hope after a week this cold is going to be over, I will record, well, a video on what I want to do and why. And I have even some interesting project which I would like to introduce you to get a bit of inspiration what it is when you enter the world of project competition and where you can get Oh, you can't get. Okay. So anyway, thank you very much for your attention and patience today because I can feel. Do you know this feeling when you have cold, like your head is like a huge bubble full of the cold? So I have this at the moment. So therefore, I sometimes forgot what I was saying because I said it in the previous version where I ended up somewhere. I couldn't find anymore where I was. Anyway, thanks a lot for listening today and I hope you are doing well. Um, yeah, thank you. See you the next time. Bye.